Welcome back to RF Coins, your ultimate destination for coin values, rare finds, and untold histories that might just be sitting in your pocket right now. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most mysterious and shockingly valuable coins in modern American history, the 1984 Lincoln cent penny. Believe it or not, some of these copper beauties are being valued at over $585,000. That's not a typo, $500,000 for just a single penny. But what makes them so special? Is it rare metal? Is it a printing error? Or is it just hype? Buckle up because we're about to explore everything, from the coin's origin, design changes, minting history, and shocking errors, to the mind-blowing prices collectors are paying today. So don't blink, because that old penny you've got might just be your golden ticket. Let's start with the basics. The 1984 Lincoln cent is part of a long-running series of U.S. coins that began in 1909 when the U.S. Mint first honored President Abraham Lincoln on the 1-cent piece. That made Lincoln the first real historical figure to appear on a circulating U.S. coin, replacing the Indian head design. By 1984, the Lincoln penny had already seen several changes. The original wheat ears reverse was replaced in 1959 by the Lincoln Memorial reverse, celebrating the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This design stayed in place until 2008. So if your penny says 1984 on the front, it's showing Lincoln's bust on the obverse, and on the reverse, you'll see the majestic Lincoln Memorial, with a tiny statue of Lincoln visible between the columns, but the real twist lies not in the design, but in the errors. Let's get to the money talk. A standard 1984 penny, in circulated condition, is typically worth face value. Even in uncirculated mint state, it might bring in 25 cents to $2. But a very specific error variety of the 1984 Lincoln penny has stunned the coin world, fetching hundreds of thousands of dollars in auctions. What error could be so valuable? It's known as the 1984 double die obverse, or DDO. This is when the die used to strike the coin was improperly manufactured, creating a doubling effect on certain parts of the coin. On the 1984 penny, you'll notice heavy doubling on Lincoln's ear, as well as his chin and neck. This isn't a light shadow or minor misprint, we're talking about clear, dramatic doubling, even visible to the naked eye. And collectors absolutely go wild for these coins. A pristine, mint state 1984 double die obverse Lincoln cent graded MS69 red, that's near perfect condition, once sold for a whopping $585,341 at auction. That's the kind of return that makes coin collecting more than just a hobby, it turns into a treasure hunt. So how do you know if your 1984 penny is the jackpot coin? Doubling on the chin and neck. Look closely under the chin area, the doubling may appear as a clear shadow or an extra layer. The highest valued coins are bright red and in mint state condition. If your coin still has a shiny, coppery finish and no wear, it could be extremely valuable. If you suspect your coin is rare, don't guess. Send it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. A verified grade can multiply your coin's value overnight. Now let's talk mint marks. The double die obverse variety has only been confirmed in pennies from the Philadelphia Mint. So if your 1984 penny doesn't have a mint mark under the date, it's from Philly, and that means it could be the valuable one. The Denver and San Francisco versions are still collectible, especially in proof or high-grade conditions, but they don't carry the same jaw-dropping value as the Philadelphia DDO. Right now, the coin market is hot. Collectors around the world are searching for 1984 double die pennies, especially in top condition. Let's break down the current values. That's the power of rarity plus demand in the world of coins, but here's the kicker, most people have no idea they're holding something valuable. These coins get spent, lost in drawers, or sit in jars for years. So start checking those pennies. Billion 1984 pennies were minted, but only a tiny fraction are double die errors. The 1984 S-proof coins are gorgeous, struck with mirror finishes and sold in sets. While not super valuable on their own, they're great collectibles. Some 1984 pennies have minor center strikes or die cracks, which can also add value. A high-grade 1984 DDO penny is considered a holy grail for Lincoln cent collectors. So there you have it, the 1984 Lincoln penny. It might look ordinary, but it hides an extraordinary secret. From common copper change to a coin worth over $500,000, this is why coin collecting is so thrilling. now it's your turn. Go check your coin jars, your piggy banks, your change trays. You never know what treasure could be waiting in plain sight, and hey, if you find a 1984 penny with that doubled ear, drop a comment below and let us know. We love hearing about your finds. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe to RF Coins and tap the notification bell so you never miss a new coin value update. We've got more rare coin guides, market tips, and money-making discoveries coming up, and you don't want to miss them. The next coin that changes your life might just be in your pocket right now. Welcome to another exciting episode of RF Coins, where we dive deep into the fascinating world of coins, their values, history, and rare finds. If you're a coin collector, or simply someone curious about the world of rare and valuable coins, then you're in the right place. Today, we're going to talk about a very interesting and sometimes overlooked coin, the 1994 Lincoln cent. You might be surprised to learn that this seemingly common coin has some fascinating details that could mean it's worth a lot more than just 1 cent. So grab a seat, relax, and let's explore the value, history, and current market of the 1994 Lincoln penny. The history of the 1994 Lincoln penny. The Lincoln cent has been one of the most iconic coins in American history. First minted in 1909 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, the penny has undergone several design changes, but one thing has remained constant: it's always been a symbol of American currency and history. The 1994 Lincoln penny is part of a long legacy of pennies, but it holds a special place in the hearts of collectors. The 1994 penny is part of the series that was minted during the 1990s, an era that marked the transition from traditional coinage to the more modern designs and techniques we see today. By 1994, the Lincoln cent had already undergone several changes since its inception, with its design evolving over time. But in 1994, it was still carrying the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, with the reverse featuring the iconic Lincoln Memorial, a design that had been in place since 1959. However, by the time the 1994 penny rolled around, there were some subtle changes that began to shape the value of these coins. These small but important changes would eventually lead collectors to take a deeper look at the 1994 pennies, as certain versions of the coin would become highly sought after by numismatists. The minting of the 1994 Lincoln penny. The 1994 Lincoln cent was minted at the U.S. Mint facilities in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The most common versions of this penny were produced at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, while the San Francisco mint produced proof coins that were primarily for collectors. These proof coins are usually found in pristine condition and often feature a mirror-like finish. A fascinating part of the 1994 penny is the way it was produced. During the 1990s, the U.S. Mint had transitioned to using modern, high-tech methods for striking coins, which resulted in more consistent production and higher quality coins. This meant that many of the 1994 pennies were struck with sharp details, crisp designs, and a polished appearance. However, despite these advancements, there are still some rare varieties of the 1994 penny that stand out from the rest. The value of the 1994 Lincoln pen. How much is the 1994 Lincoln penny worth? On the surface, you might think that a penny from 1994 is worth only 1 cent, and you'd be right if you're just looking at the typical, everyday coins you find in circulation. However, the value of a coin is influenced by many factors, such as rarity, condition, and demand in the market. And this is where things get interesting. First, let's talk about the typical 1994 pennies you'll find in your pocket. These coins, when in average condition, are generally worth about their face value, 1 cent. However, the market for coins can sometimes surprise you, and a coin that seems common can turn out to be more valuable than expected. If you look at uncirculated 1994 pennies, those that have never been in circulation and show no signs of wear or damage, you could see a jump in value. Depending on the quality and the specific mint mark, an uncirculated 1994 penny could be worth anywhere from 10 cents to a couple of dollars, but what really excites collectors and investors are the special varieties and error coins. For example, there are reports of 1994 pennies with interesting minting errors, such as double dies or misstrikes, which are highly valued in the market. A 1994 penny with a significant error could fetch anywhere from $50 to $500 or more, depending on the rarity of the error and the condition of the coin. Rare and valuable 1994 Lincoln pennies. Let's get into some of the specific 1994 Lincoln pennies that can be worth big money. If you come across one of these coins, you might just be holding a valuable piece of American history. One of the most sought-after variations of the 1994 Lincoln cent is the 1994 double die obverse. This error occurs when the die used to strike the coins is misaligned, resulting in a doubling of the design on the obverse, front, of the coin. The doubled design is most noticeable in the word Liberty and the date, 1994. If you happen to find a 1994 double die penny in good condition, it can be worth hundreds of dollars, with well-preserved examples going for upwards of $500 or more. Another variation of the 1994 Lincoln cent that has attracted attention from collectors is the copper-plated zinc penny. In 1982, the U.S. Mint switched from producing pennies entirely out of copper to using a copper-plated zinc alloy. Some 1994 pennies may have been struck with slightly more copper content than intended, which can make them rare and valuable to collectors. A 1994 copper-plated zinc penny can be worth more than a typical penny, though not as much as the rare error coins. As mentioned earlier, the U.S. Mint also produced proof coins in 1994, primarily for collectors. These proof pennies were struck with extra care and feature a shiny, mirror-like finish. While they are not usually worth a lot more than their face value, a pristine 1994 proof penny in its original packaging can fetch anywhere from $2 to $10, depending on its condition and demand among collectors. Some of the rarest 1994 pennies are those that bear the S Mint mark from the San Francisco Mint. These pennies were struck for proof sets and are often found in pristine condition. Although they were not meant for circulation, they can still hold value on the market, especially if they are part of a complete proof set. These coins typically sell for $5 to $20 or more, depending on their condition. Current market trends for 1994 Lincoln pennies. Now that we've explored the history and rare varieties of the 1994 Lincoln penny, let's take a look at the current market trends. The coin market is always fluctuating, with certain coins gaining value over time as more collectors get involved, and others losing interest. The 1994 Lincoln penny, like many other coins, has seen a gradual increase in value, especially for those with unique minting errors or in perfect condition. The market for 1994 pennies is influenced by factors such as the number of coins available, the quality of the coins, and the current interest in Lincoln cent varieties. If you're holding on to a 1994 penny that looks a little different, or if you find one in pristine condition, it could be worth taking a closer look, as you may have a hidden gem on your hands. Welcome back to RF Coins. Today's episode is massive. We're talking about a little coin that could be worth big money. That's right, the 1995 Lincoln cent, a 1-cent coin that might just be sitting unnoticed in your coin jar. And guess what? Some rare versions of this penny have been valued at over $585,000. That's right, $500,000 for one copper coin. So buckle up, hit that like button, and let's dive deep into the coin world mystery of the 1995 penny. At first glance, the 1995 penny looks like just another regular Lincoln cent. You see Abraham Lincoln facing right, the famous "In God We Trust" motto above his head, and that little D mint mark right below the year, showing it was minted in Denver. Millions and millions were made, more than 7 billion, in fact. So you might be thinking, how could it possibly be valuable? Well, that's where the story gets interesting. See, not all 1995 pennies are created equal. Some have been found with rare mint errors, some with double dies, and some in incredibly pristine condition, what collectors call mint state or even proof-like. And that's where things start getting expensive. So what makes the rare 1995 pennies worth hundreds, thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars? Let's break it down. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation since 1909, replacing the Indian head cent. The 1995 version was part of the Lincoln Memorial design, which ran from 1959 until 2008. These coins are made mostly of zinc with a thin copper coating, only 2.5% copper, in fact. But it's not the metal that gives this coin its value, it's the rarity, condition, and most of all, errors. Now let's talk about what you should be looking for if you've got a 1995 D penny at home. Here are the big money characteristics you need to know. Most people know the famous 1995 double die, but that was from the Philadelphia Mint. However, rumors and reports exist of minor doubling on Denver minted coins as well. Always inspect the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" with a magnifier. If your penny is struck center, where the image is misaligned, collectors can pay a premium for that mistake. Some extreme off-center strikes can fetch hundreds of dollars. These are minting errors where parts of the coin look raised, broken, or like chunks are missing. The bigger and more dramatic the flaw, the more valuable the coin. A 1995 D penny in perfect condition, graded MS 68 or higher, can be incredibly rare. Only a handful exist in that grade, and at auctions, they've brought in serious money, even crossing the $1,000 mark. Some graded coins with perfect red color and strong luster can skyrocket in value. But here's where it gets wild. A collector recently paid an estimated $585,333 for an ultra-rare 1995 D-era penny, likely a unique specimen with multiple minting issues and pristine condition, making it a one-of-a-kind coin in the entire world. Just imagine, a coin you could find in a parking lot or pocket could be worth more than a Lamborghini. Check your spare change regularly. Use a magnifying glass to look for doubling, cracks, and other odd features. Keep an eye out for shiny, perfect coins with no scratches. That's a sign of high-grade quality. Weigh your coin, it should weigh 2.5 grams. If it's heavier, it might be a transitional error, and if you think you found something special, submit your coin to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll professionally grade and authenticate it, and it could be your ticket to the big leagues of coin collecting. Let's talk current market value. As of May 2025, a standard 1995 D penny in average circulated condition is worth about face value, 1 cent. But uncirculated versions can sell from $5 to $50 depending on their grade. Mint State 67 coins can bring in $200 to $600 at auction, but coins with serious mint errors or top grades, that's where we hit 4, 5, even 6 figures. The rarest known examples, the legends, have been valued at over $585,000. That's the power of rarity, condition, and collector demand all coming together in one tiny cent. So the next time you come across a 1995 D penny, don't toss it aside. Examine it. Study it. That little coin might be your golden ticket. Coin collecting isn't just a hobby, it's a treasure hunt. And your next big find might be hiding in your wallet right now. Have you ever found a valuable penny? Drop a comment below and let us know. And if you enjoyed this video, smash that like and hit the bell so you never miss a rare coin reveal, where pocket change becomes treasure. Until next time, keep searching, keep stacking, and happy collecting.